I never thought this day would come. I'm this close to crying. ProMotion could be happening on the iPhone as soon as next year, my most requested feature. We've got a huge report on the iPhone 11 with some new details thanks to 9to5 Mac. The rainbow Apple logo might be making a comeback, micro LED, 16-inch MacBook Pro details, and more. Huge Apple Leaks day. So strap in, guys. Already got my seatbelt on. We got a lot to talk about. Let's jump right into that 9to5 Mac report on the iPhone 11. This is coming from an insider they're speaking to that had hands-on time with the iPhone 11 lineup. Now they're making direct reference to the iPhone 11 naming. It's very likely this could be the final name of this year's iPhones. Surprise, surprise, what comes after iPhone 10. Like many other sources have been confirming, Lightning is very likely staying this year. USB-C was rumored for 2020 all along, and that's when we'll probably see that technology arrive. Again, Apple is adding a USB-C connector to the box. And by the way, do you think we'll ever see AirPods in the box? I thought it'd be fun to render that one up. Maybe one day, but they'll be charging you $2,000 for it. They're also confirming screen resolutions and display technologies are staying the same as the 2018 iPhone lineup, meaning LCD is staying on the 11R. In 2020, we're likely to see an entire OLED iPhone lineup. And this is where it starts getting interesting. The Haptic engine that we all know and love since the iPhone 6S era, which has grown and evolved over time to be this amazing product, is changing, and it'll be called Leap Haptics now. So it'll be a new type of Haptic engine. It's unclear what that may deliver, any of the details, but like we heard from Max Weinbach earlier, Apple is working on some sort of new haptics inside the iPhone. Since 3D Touch is dying, it only makes sense that they want to supplement it with either more power from the Haptic engine or in some way make it even better, surpass 3D Touch. Also inadvertently in the article, they're mentioning 3D Touch is likely dying this year to be replaced with Haptic Touch. As we've seen in all of the iOS betas, it's just clear Apple is moving away from 3D Touch, and it's no longer going to be a feature shipping with the new iPhones. After their hands-on time with the iPhone 11, they're also confirming a triple lens camera is happening and that the third lens will be a wide-angle lens, in case you guys haven't seen this one anywhere before. Also, a new feature software-wise coming to the camera called Smart Frame, where in post-processing, you'll be able to adjust the field of view, or essentially which lens took the photo if you want, to see a little bit more in the image, step back a little bit. It's a very cool feature, but they do mention it will be time sensitive. So after a few hours, maybe a few days, that will expire due to security reasons. They just don't want you to have access to all that information in the photo. This feature was also rumored by Bloomberg months in advance. And I'd like to mention that this report comes many months after the one I did with Max Weinbach, which I'll link down below. He spoke of the very same things, that Apple would be upgrading the haptic sensor inside the iPhone with some new generation, that there would be a third ultra-wide camera lens. He was the first one that broke that news report, so he's pretty credible. Also mentioned the Lightning, the soft touch back first, and the green color. So Max Weinbach, you're good. I'm looking forward to working with you through 2020 and 2021. Now, let's get into the juicy stuff. ProMotion on the iPhone. The 120 Hertz variable refresh rate display, which can go to 60 to save on energy, or in case you don't like the smoothness, is very likely coming to the iPhone as Apple is in talks with Samsung and LG considering this display. Now, this is only for the 2020 iPhones, not for this year. Don't get too excited just yet. But knowing it's coming, and especially on such a big refresh year, gets me excited, man. I can't wait. Now, this is coming from Ice Universe. He has a very good history. He does a lot of Android stuff, but this is in relation with Samsung, which would be providing the displays here, potentially. And another potential reason why ProMotion could be coming to the iPhone is we've heard from Ming Chi Kuo that Apple is considering adding Apple Pencil support or a stylus support, an official one, for the new iPhones. Don't know if it's 2019 or 2020, but that could be another reason, because you'd want it to be silky smooth, and those would go hand in hand together. Regarding displays, a couple of developments here. Apple has added LG as a supplier for 2019 iPhone displays, which means we likely won't have any supplier issues at least, or demand issues, which I don't foresee at all happening. Also, micro LED. The display of the future is happening sooner than you think. 2020, debuting on the Apple Watch Series 6. According to Taiwanese-based Economic Daily News, they're saying that Apple is finally going to be releasing this technology. They've been working on it roughly that we know of since 2014, and they're going to release it on the Apple Watch Series 6 first, and that means eventually it will be happening on the iPhones. We know it was rumored for the iPads and some MacBooks in 2020, 2021. So that technology technology is right on the cusp here. Apple's holding back, but they're perfecting it, and I really can't wait. It's what you interact with the most, so I think it matters the most. Also, I think Apple could use a lot of their foldable screen patents to do an edge-to-edge Apple Watch. I think that'd be the best possible way to introduce us to this technology on the Series 6. Micro LED is essentially the halo technology of all displays. Like, it can't possibly get any better than that. It's brighter, more efficient, it lasts longer, just better than OLED in every conceivable way. And not only is Apple working on displays of the future, they're also working on the camera of the future. As Digitimes is reporting, they've asked their supplier to start working on 3D sensing cameras for the iPhone. And this is coming in the 2020 iPhones, according to a report from Bloomberg. Earlier, they mentioned the rear sensing camera will be able to project up to 15 feet away from the iPhone. That's crazy. You'll be able to scan an object, have a 3D model on the iPhone, and it'll be better integrated for AR, VR capabilities. Sony is likely going to be the sensor provider for the 3D sensing camera. And I really like this example given by Vania Geskin. The iPhone 11 is like the 3GS. Compared to the next year's technology, the iPhone 4, which was better in every single way, that's kind of where we're at. This is the iPhone 3GS. That's the 2020 iPhone 4. Siri could be getting her own operating system next year, according to Mangrove Capital Partners, and it's going to be called Siri OS. This is to better compete with Amazon Alexa and just to make Siri more diverse. We know that Apple is releasing more products where Siri could be nested, such as the over-ear headphones, the new AirPods 3, and growing Siri, they say, over time could mean so much profit for Apple, as you'll be able to place orders through Siri, just do more things. And it makes sense for Apple to expand on Siri for it to have its own operating system. The rainbow Apple logo, one of Apple's earlier logos used on a lot of the earlier Macs, could be making a resurgence on some modern Apple products. A tip given in Mac Rumors suggests Apple is considering adding this logo to some modern products, very likely the Mac lineup, and it would very likely be like the Product Red series where just one certain type of color keeps the rainbow logo. I think it would make for an interesting touch, like a retro line of modern Apple products. I know there's a lot of skins just like that, and it would work. Even on an iPhone, like I would rock that. That'd be very cool, a throwback edition. They do say though not to get your hopes up. It is coming from a source that has long-standing connections to sources in Apple, but it may end up being untrue. According to Supply Chain Reports, Economic Daily News is reporting the 16-inch MacBook Pro is launching in October, and it'll have an all-time high notebook price for Apple historically, with a starting price of $3,000. Now, this is one of my most hyped Apple products. It goes Mac Pro, MacBook Pro 16-inch, iPhone 11, AirPods 3, and then so on. And you're going to be paying here for the Pro name for sure. They're also confirming the earlier resolution that we heard, 3072 by 1920, from a different source, will be happening. And yes, a 16-inch MacBook Pro with a rainbow logo would be particularly cool, although I think Apple should bring back the glowing Apple logo, especially on the iPhone series. A special edition iPhone with a glowing Apple logo that's controllable from settings, that could be used as a notification light, I think could be one of the slickest features to come to the iPhone in a while. Now, we've seen in the news for a while, Intel has been trying to sell their 5G modem division for at or near $1 billion. And now Apple is likely going to be their customer that'll pay that price. It will help them accelerate all of their in-house 5G modem efforts, and that's essentially what the article boils down to, is Apple would only be buying it to get away from Qualcomm's 5G modems, which are rumored for next year's iPhone, as soon as possible. And I've got a question for you guys. The iPhone 11 with a black camera, does it look better than a body-colored iPhone 11 lens? We've seen a lot of models like this. It's not accurate. One received by Geskin is more accurate, but the lens itself, the shape is wrong. I think it looks really good. I would rock this. After holding it, seeing it in person, I love the iPhone 11 design. It looks clean, it looks modern. Yes, the flash placement sucks, I do not like that. But overall, it's just strikingly new. Like, people will know you're using something completely different right away. The iPhone 11 announcement date may fall on September 10th. According to 9to5Mac, which estimates an event date every single year, they're placing it on the 10th with a following pre-order date on Friday the 13th. Yes, very nice one. And then on the 20th, the street date. So this thing will be in your hands within a matter of 2 months, less than 2 months here. Exciting times. But who cares about release date if it won't sell? According to a Rosenblatt analyst, this will be one of Apple's most poorly performing iPhone sales years in a very long time, just because of how similar this model will be to the XS. There are no groundbreaking features, it's just doomed to fail, and he's downgraded Apple stock as a result. It's very likely the 11R will be Apple's most important iPhone of 2019, as a new statistic just released shows 48% of all iPhones sold in Q3 of 2019 were the iPhone XR. And Apple has bolstered the new 11R with dual lens cameras, 4 gigabytes of RAM, better antennas inside. It should do fairly well. The last couple of things, on Apple's website, they changed the Mac Pro logo to be sideways facing to make it more distinctive and not look like a cheese grater, which it does. And your iPhone can handle 120 million original moon missions. Apollo 11 was using a 0.043 megahertz processor. Your iPhone is using right now a 2.49 gigahertz processor if you have the latest, and could be even faster this year. Otherwise, guys, there it is. iPhone 11 is coming. We've got ProMotion on the horizon, micro LED displays. I just don't know how I can keep topping these leak videos. All this good news is coming, and it makes me excited to be alive in this day and age. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.